are located literally on the rooftop at the Cleveland Stadium. The highest point on the stadium, looking down on the field, looking toward the lake. So that places us on the south side roughly. And the goal to our right is at the open end of the stadium. The wind is coming in from that direction. Cleveland has taken the wind and will kick off from right to left. The Steelers will receive. They wear black jerseys, white numerals, black helmets with gold trim, the gold pants with the black stripe. And the Browns are in their white uniforms with the dark numerals and the orange helmets. The only team in the NFL with no decal on the side of the helmet. The Steelers, the only team in the NFL with a decal on one side of the helmet, if that means anything, Myron.
Well, you bring all sorts of important information to this broadcast, no question about it. Let me ask you a trivia question. There's a rookie free safety playing for Cleveland named Van Green. Van Green is his name because Tom Gordon's out of there, so Van Green is in there, and he's from Shaw University. Where is Shaw University?
Shaw University is in Alabama.
It is?
You asked for it, you got it.
Well, okay. I said you bring all kinds of important information to this deal.
Preston Pearson and Steve Davis are deep, and Don Cockcroft will kick off from right to left. The wind has just blown the football off of the tee. That'll give you an idea of the velocity here this afternoon. No rain. The rain stopped approximately an hour ago. The field was covered. They uncovered it. It is not in good shape, but it could be a lot worse. Steelers will be receiving on the infield skin portion of the baseball diamond here at Cleveland Stadium. From right to left, Cockcroft kicks off. Long into the end zone, over the end zone, out of play. He had enough wind with that one, he might have kicked it all the way to Sandusky.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're wondering which way the wind's blowing, you know now.
Steelers put it in play at their own 20-yard line. They huddle, and Terry Hanratty is the quarterback out of Notre Dame in his 5th season. Franco Harris and Preston Pearson are the running backs. Barry Pearson to the left, Ron Shanklin to the right, and they shift off the I formation. The handoff to Franco to the right with blockers, turns the corner at the 20 and is belted out of bounds into the water at the 23. They belt him out of bounds and into a small lake of mud at the sideline. Charlie Hall and Bob Babbage made the play. Hall from Houston, Babbage from Miami of Ohio, and the ball is marked at the 23, a 3-yard gain. It is 2nd down 7.
Yes, the Steelers couldn't muster quite enough blocking on that sweet. Preston Pearson trying to give Franco a block, but not succeeding too well, being outnumbered.
I'll tell you one thing, Franco is wet now. They shift out of the eye. Preston to the left, Franco to the right, and the setbacks are wide. Hanratty handles the ball to give to Preston off the left side of the line for 2 yards. Deep to the 25 and stopped upright. Running into the arms of Bob Babbage, the middle linebacker, and Walter Johnson, the defensive left tackle. With the play stopped at the 25-yard line, it will be 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
You know, I'm glad Franco's wet and muddy already, because Franco last year played his best games when he was wet and muddy. One of them being right here and the other being up in Buffalo, if you'll remember.
To the far side of the field goes Barry Pearson split. Flanking Ron Shanklin to the near side, shifting off the eye again. The setbacks are wide. 5 men front for Cleveland. Hanratty backpedals. He fires downfield to Mick Bacon, who takes it crossing the 50 and goes down at the Cleveland 46-yard line. The tight end, John McBacon, running a perfect pattern to the 50, stopped by Van Green. So they worked on the rookie right at the start. And Hanratty is hurt on the play. They got to Terry Hanratty, and that brings on Joe Gilliam. Hanratty completed his first pass, and it appears to be his throwing wrist. So Joe Gilliam is on. A first down for the Steelers. Hanratty completes the first pass he threw. He'll get attention. I might be wrong. That could be his left wrist that was hurt. Joe Gilliam handling the ball club with the ball spotted at the Cleveland 47. Hand off to Harris into the right side of the line. Fights for yardage over the 45 down to the 44. Picks up 3. Joe Jones and Jerry Shirk in on the stop. From our position, we look right down on top of the football players here at the Cleveland Stadium. We see a 3-yard gain and 2nd down and 7. Now, Joe Gilliam, in his 2nd year, out of Tennessee State, 6'2", 187, born in Charleston, West Virginia, lived there for about a month, moved away, does not call himself a West Virginian, is a very, very determined young man to make this ball club a quarterback. He lines them up. They shift off of the I. Preston Pearson to the left side. 2nd down, 7. Hand off to Franco. Off left tackle. No yardage. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Jerry Shirk and Nick Roman. The right side of the Cleveland defensive line. No gain on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and 7. Indications are that was the throwing wrist or hand of Terry Hanratty that was hurt. And they're looking at it on the far side of the field.
Yes, he was attending to that right arm, but it's loosened up now. He's walking around. I think we're probably going to see him back in the game soon.
Gilliam on 3rd and 7. Setbacks are wide. 5-man front thrown up at the Cleveland Browns. Gilliam drops back. Gilliam in a crowd fires downfield as Shanklin takes it on the run at the 15. He's down to the 12-yard line. Clarence Scott makes the tackle. Gilliam goes right down the middle to Ronnie Shanklin, the Steelers' great receiver. And Joe Gilliam hits on the pass, and the Steelers have moved it deep into Cleveland territory.
Yes, Shanklin went over the middle, got just inside of Clarence Scott, and I'll tell you, Gilliam rifled that ball, had it right on the money. Because there was coverage there, and he had to lay it right in, and he did. Jumping Joe did.
Shanklin's 24th reception. McMakin had his 12th. The 2 big pass plays. Gilliam with the ball club. Hands the ball off to Preston Pearson, trying the right side, nowhere to go. They're operating at the Cleveland 13-yard line. Jerry Shirk at the bottom of the stop along with Nick Roman. And I think we're going to get about a yard out of the play. It will be 2nd down and 9 yards to go.
And you notice that both of the Steelers' passes, both of them doing heavy damage, have been down the middle, where you don't see quarterbacks throwing a whole lot this year. But the Steelers apparently figuring that they can hit the Cleveland defense up the middle and have been doing it.
Frank Lewis in at wide receiver. Set up out to the left. Shanklin to the right, to the near side of the field. And they shift out of the I formation. The running backs are Harris and Pearson. The handoff to Preston. Finds an opening through the middle. Slips through over the 10. Goes down to the 8-yard line. Walter Johnson is there to meet him. And let's see where they mark the football. It's going to be in the vicinity of the 9-yard line. It will be a 3rd down play with about 5.5 yards to go, with the ball at the 9-yard line, squarely in front of the goalpost. All right. The Steelers, early moments of the first quarter, threatening. No score in the ball game. Joe Gilliam is the quarterback. Gilliam backs up. Gilliam looks, fires into the end zone. It's a touchdown as he hits Ron Shanklin right in front of Clarence Scott. Scott had thrown a blanket on Shanklin, and Shanklin broke loose and took the pass. And that is his 10th touchdown of the season. Ron Shanklin, the receiver, his 25th reception and his 10th touchdown. And the Steelers have gone in to score. Roy Girella will try for the point after. Bobby Walden is the holder for Pittsburgh. The ball is down. Girella kicks. It is good. Now with timeout on the field to score. Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland nothing.
Right now, on behalf of the Iron City Brewery, we're going to celebrate last week's Steeler touchdown by awarding an official autographed American Conference football to the Immaculate Conception Athletic Association, and that one's for the Ron Shanklin touchdown of last week. Well, Joe Gilliam really fired that 8-yard touchdown pass. Clarence Scott and Van Green both had Shanklin covered, and that ball had to be whipped in there, and that's exactly what Joe did. So the Steelers lead 7-0 early in this ball game. Jack?
Girella will kick off into a stiff win with Billy LaFleur and Greg Pruitt deep. Here comes Roy Girella. Takes it very high. The wind has it. And LaFleur takes it at the 9. He fumbles it at the 12. Juggles it, picks it up. Goes behind the 10. Comes to the left. He's up over the 15 to the 20. He loses the football out of bounds and the play is dead at the 22-yard line. He was hit at the near side of the field by Preston Pearson. Lost the football, fumbled it out of bounds, and the Browns maintained possession, 1st and 10 at their own 22.
And George Webster was down there and had a shot at him at the 10-yard line, but seemed to have a little trouble with his footing, George did, and couldn't lay it on real good, and he got away.
Veteran Bob DeMarco, 13th season out of Dayton, goes over the football. The quarterback is Mike Phipps from Purdue. Backs are wide. Cleveland with the ball for the first time, trailing 7-0. Here is Phipps, giving a handoff to Leroy Kelly, cross-bucking, nailed. He gets about a yard. Runs into Tom Keating. Defensively for Pittsburgh, L.C. Greenwood at left end, Joe Green at left tackle, Tom Keating at right tackle, replacing Ernie Holmes, White at right end. The linebackers, Jack Ham, Henry Davis, and Andy Russell. Johnny Rouser and Mel Blunt on the corners. Mike Wagner and Glenn Edwards are the safeties. Bear Hooker and Frank Pitts are wide receivers for Cleveland. Milt Moore in the tight ends. Running backs are Leroy Kelly and Ken Brown. The quarterback is Phipps, 2nd and 9.5. He goes deep. He'll throw. He fires downfield, in and out of the arms of Bear Hooker at the 35-yard line. Hooker was open between Henry Davis and Glenn Edwards. Could not hold on to the football, and the pass is incomplete.
It's interesting, Tom Keating replacing Fats Holmes in the starting lineup. I talked earlier about the possibility of a Holmes-Hickerson matchup. Now, did Chaz Knoll bench Fats Holmes, or has he got him on the bench because of his nettlesome injuries? Who knows, and we probably wouldn't get a straight answer if we asked.
And it could be based on Keating's play last week.
Maybe.
When he filled in when Holmes was injured. They put a man in the slot on the right side. They also have a flanker wide to the right. 2 ends split. It's a passing formation. And Phipps is back to throw. Phipps looks, fires long downfield to nobody. Intending it for Bear Hooker, who had been held up. Hooker was only to the 40 as he threw it over everybody. Mel Blunt doing a good coverage job on him. The pass is incomplete. And Cleveland will go to the punt. And Don Cockcroft is on to do the punting for the Cleveland Browns. So Cockcroft will kick the football for Cleveland. He's averaging 38.9. Not a good average, but don't let that fool you. And he's got the wind with him. Standing at his own 6-yard line, we have Glenn Edwards deep. The up man is Dennis Meyer. Cockcroft has the ball, gets away a bad one, end over end, down to Meyer at his own 38. He's over the 40 and out of bounds at the 41.5-yard line on the near side of the field. Knocked out by John Garlington. So a short return on a relatively short punt considering the wind. And with time out on the field, the score is Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland nothing.
Joe Gilliam, who took over very early for the injured Hanratty, remains in the ballgame. Here go the Steelers from their 42. Jack Fleming.
Gilliam quarterbacking. The Steelers at their own 42. They move left to right. We're in the first quarter. And here's the handoff. Franco over the right side across the 45 and up to the 48-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards on the play. Charlie Hall, the left side linebacker, closed in on him and made the stop for the Cleveland Browns. So that's the best running play the Steelers have had this afternoon. And it moves them to the 48-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 yards to go.
You could have driven a Rolls Royce through that hole. Was that ever a hole? How about that?
Defensively for Cleveland, Joe Jones, Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, and Nick Roman. Charlie Hall, Bob Babbage, and John Garlington, the linebackers. Scott and Davis on the corners. Sumner and Green are the safeties. Tom Darden out of there. All right, they shift back into the I formation, putting Preston at the top of the I. Here is Gilliam with a flag down, throwing into the right flat area to Shanklin, and it is incomplete. Flag went down on the play, and there was some mix-up. And that was something we haven't seen this season, shifting from the regular pro set into the I, and I think they're going to rule that a lateral. Shanklin very quickly got on the football. Well, let's see what the flag meant. Did we get a signal on the flag? Backfield illegally in motion, declined by Cleveland. All right, now here's what happened. Gilliam flipped it out to Shanklin and flipped it laterally. It was in and out of his arms, and Shanklin very alertly got on the football back at the 38-yard line. So there is a loss of about 4.5 yards on the play. More than that.
More than that, yeah. Almost 10.
Right. It is now 3rd down and 14. Gilliam, the quarterback. Gilliam backpedals. Gilliam fires long downfield for Frank Lewis. Lewis racing, can't hold it at the 20-yard line. Lewis got in between Ben Davis and Van Green, and it was in his arms at the Cleveland 20, and that would have been a game breaker. But it was not to be. It's the first incomplete pass for the Steelers in 4 they've thrown. And we'll go into punt formation. Greg Pruitt and Steve Holden are deep. Holden to the far side and Pruitt to the near side. Walden in punt formation, kicking into the wind. Gets the snap, and his punt is away. Low, bouncing. Endo Brent, hard to handle. Kicked by a Steeler. And the ball is down inside the 10 to the 7. But it was touched by a Steeler upfield. And let's see where they mark it. The official dropped his hat. It's going to be right around they're taking it to the 35-yard line, and he guessed on it. It was closer to the 30. Ed Bradley touched it as he was running. And what Bobby Walden got that time was an end-over-end kick that was going to be very hard to handle. And unfortunately, it touched the Steeler, who did not see it. Otherwise, it went all the way down inside the 10.
And he touched it exactly at the 32, Jack, but they're giving the Browns the ball at the 35.
The official covering the play guessed. He delayed. I think possibly he just saw it out of the side of his eye and dropped the hat to mark it at the 35. Steelers football continues after this brief timeout.
Well, the Browns now starting at their own 35, and on that last Steelers series, as Jack told you, Joe Gilliam put that ball right in Frank Lewis's belly. It was a 45-yard bomb. He was gone if he catches that ball. He was racing between two defenders wide open, but he didn't hold it, so the Browns now have the ball going at their own 35.
Ernie Holmes is in at defensive right tackle for the Steelers. Mike Phipps brings the Browns out of the huddle. They're in the I formation. Leroy Kelly, the 10-year veteran from Morgan State, dots the I. And the handoff goes to Kelly, running to the right, cuts back at the 35, hit and brought down going over the 40-yard line. The tackle made by Jack Ham, the left side linebacker, who caught him at the 38. His momentum carried him over the 40, almost to the 42-yard line, on a nice sweep to the right and a cutback by Kelly. And he picks up 7 yards on the play. Thus far during the current campaign, Kelly is the second leading rusher with 335 yards. Ken Brown has 499 yards coming into the ball game. They're in the I and they shift out of it. Kelly to the right and Brown to the left. Second down 3 for the Cleveland Browns at their own 42. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. Phipps gives it to Kelly, coming to the left this time with a blocker. They catch him at the 40, and down he goes. Andy Russell. Great lateral pursuit. Caught him as he approached Mel Blunt. Ready to make a move on Blunt. Russell got him from behind and brought him down at the 40. And the loss sets up a 3rd and 5 situation.
Beautiful work by Andy Russell. Maybe he's going to have a better day than his father's having. His dad's here to see the game, and when he checked out of the hotel this morning, he asked for his bill, and they handed him $38 worth of bar tabs that belonged to somebody else.
And I know who they belong to, too.
Get out of here.
Ernie Holmes is out, and George Webster is in. Extra linebacker. All right, here's Phipps back, looking, throwing, open man, in Steeler territory at the 45 over the 40. Here goes Ken Brown, down to the 20, down to the 15, and inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Mike Wagner makes the stop. Ken Brown, 5'10", 203-pounder, came wide open into Steeler territory to take the pass, and they connect their first completed pass of the afternoon. And the Browns have a first down at the Steeler 15-yard line.
Well, I think there was clearly a breakdown in the Steelers secondary there because nobody was attending to Mr. Brown. Ham and Wagner were over there, but not really covering him, so something went afoul, and the Browns now at the 15.
They had Brown in the slot on that play, and that's where he came out of. Now they shift out of the I formation. They got a slot man to the left. Phipps looking at a 5-man front for the Steelers. Phipps giving the delay to Kelly, running to the left. Missed at the 15, and he goes down to the 10. He got by Russell that time. Went down to the 10 where Mike Wagner hit him, helped out by Henry Davis, the middle linebacker. And he picks up about 5 yards on the play. Dwight White comes out of it, too. So the Browns have advanced the football to the Steeler 10-yard line. We're at a second down and 5 yards to go. and the real estate is very tough to buy at this point.
And they came back with a play similar to the one that Russell had stopped back at the other end of the field just a few moments ago. Apparently, they're determined to sweep that Steeler right side.
4:44 to go in the first quarter. Steelers leading 7-0. The Browns at the Pittsburgh 10. Second down 5. Fifth, handoff, Kelly, nailed, missed, behind the line of scrimmage by Green. He's caught at the 10 and gang tackled. Joe Green had him for a loss, could not hold him. L.C. Greenwood led the charge that stopped him at the 10-yard line. We're going to pause for station identification on the Pittsburgh Steelers Football Network. Jack Fleming with Myron Cope at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. It is 3rd and 5. The Browns at the Pittsburgh 10. The Steelers leading 7-0. 4 minutes to play in the opening period. Mike Phipps has his setbacks wide. A flanker right, a split end left. Phipps drops back. Phipps has time. Phipps running to the right. Phipps keeps the ball, comes over the 10, caught, nailed inside the 5-yard line. He ran with the football and was brought down inside the 5 by Jack Ham. And that was after he had gone by Glenn Edwards. So he fooled him, and he gives Cleveland a first down at the 3.
Glenn Edwards very nearly knocked the ball out of Phipps' hand as Phipps across the line of scrimmage. Edwards did not have a good shot at him, so he took a swipe at the ball, but it didn't work. The Browns now 3 yards from a touchdown.
So they go to a 2 tight end offense. Milt Moore and Chip Glass are in there. Fair Hooker is out. The flanker said close on the right side. Phipps calling signals at the Pittsburgh 3. Phipps gives the ball to Kelly. A sweep to the right. Kelly missed at the 5. Kelly down to the goal line, and he's hit and stopped short of the goal line. Boy, he was almost in there. He got by. Johnny Rouser and Mike Wagner hit him along with L.C. Greenwood, and they stack him up at the 1-foot line.
And Glenn Edwards came up after he had been tackled. He might have driven into the end zone, but Glenn Edwards came up and gave him a tough shot, a high shot to turn him back. Result, no touchdown, not yet anyhow, but they're inches away.
Dennis Meyer is in that goal line defense. Second down and about a foot to go. The Cleveland Browns knocking at the door. Phipps on a sneak. He's in there for a touchdown. Mike Phipps carries it over for a Cleveland touchdown. And the Browns go on the board for the first time. So Cleveland started at its own 35-yard line, a 65-yard drive. And the big one was the long pass that carried to the Steeler 15. The pass went to Ken Brown. Cockcroft will try for the point after. .2:23 remaining in the first period. Here's the snap. Don Cockcroft kicks. There's a flag on the play. Hold it just a moment. Steelers were offside, so the kick stands. Now with time out on the field to score, Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland 7. Browns were ready to kick off, and as Cockcroft approached the ball, it fell off the tee. We have Preston Pearson and Steve Davis deep. We have a Russian tanker or a Russian cargo ship just outside the stadium in the port out here, firing up its engines, getting ready to go. I don't know what that has to do with it. Cockcroft kicks it. Not as long this time, but Preston Pearson will let it go out of the end zone for the touchback. As we came into the stadium, we looked up at this big ship and saw the hammer and sickle up on the stack. It also, Myron, I don't know, you're an old Navy man possibly, carries an American flag, which I guess you do when you're in an American port.
Right, yeah, well, yeah, but, you know, I looked over there, and there's no sign of life on that ship. There are no Russians around. What do you think? They're in here watching the ball game?
They all rushed over to the stadium. First and 10 for the Steelers. At their own 20. They move left to right, shifting out of the eye. Preston Pearson to the right side. Quarterback is Joe Gilliam. Hand off to Franco. Nailed for a loss. Hit by Nick Roman. Goes down at the 19. We have a flag on the play. Penalty marker is down. And the Steelers are going to be assessed illegal motion. So Cleveland will have the option of taking the down with the loss of a yard and a half or the 5-yard penalty and giving the Steelers the down over. The option belongs to Cleveland. The illegal motion penalty is declined. Second down, about 11 and a half yards to go. Remember, Terry Hanratty threw one pass, completed it, and was hurt on that play. And we have not seen him since. Apparently hurt the hand or the wrist of his throwing arm. So Joe Gilliam, who guided the Steelers into a touchdown, is their quarterback at the moment. Out of the I formation, Preston Pearson and Franco Harris are the running back. Gilliam takes. Draw handoff to Franco over the left side, across the 20, running to the left, is out to the 23-yard line. He slips the ball to Harris, came off the left side. Jerry Shirk and Nick Roman brought him down, and they will spot the ball at the 23.5-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards on the play, so it's going to be third down and 7.
And it was a nicely executed play. The Steelers have got to get something going here to retake command of this ball game. They scored on their opening drive and looked like they might really give it to the Browns, but then a couple of mistakes put them in trouble, and now they're trying to get going again.
It would be very nice to get a first down here. Gilliam is back. Gilliam fires, and it's in and out of the arms of Shanklin at the 35 on a comebacker and a diving try. Clarence Scott covering him. The pass is incomplete. So Bobby Walden will have to punt into the wind. Had we been able to pick up a first down, we might have been able to run out the quarter and then kick with the wind. Greg Pruitt and Steve Holden are back at the Cleveland 35 to receive. Walden gets the snap. Walden's punt is away, and it's a good one, but the wind catches it and brings it down at the 40 in Cleveland territory. The ball carried by Pruitt to the right, and Pruitt flips over the 40 and goes down at the 42 as Larry Brown makes the stop. Pruitt looking for running room out to the right. And as far as his return average is concerned, Pruitt leads them with an average of 10.1 per return. Walden's punt that time was a beauty, but you could see the wind catch it, Myron, and bring it straight down at the 40.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it low under the wind, but it's a tough thing to do because this really is a brisk wind.
Cleveland at its own 42.5-yard line. The handoff inside the Browns, straight ahead to the 45, and he meets solid opposition. He runs squarely into Jack Ham and Henry Davis and Tom Keating. And Keating is back in at right defensive tackle in place of Ernie Holmes. Let's look at the offensive lineup for the Browns. Fair Hooker at wide receiver. Dyken, Hickerson, DeMarco, Damari, and McKay, the interior lineman. Moore in the tight end. Phipps, the quarterback. Kelly, Brown, the running backs. And Frank Pitts is a wide receiver. Cleveland, 2nd and 7 at its own 45. Bootleg, back to throw. Phipps blocked by Joe Green. Incomplete. Green blocks it coming out of Phipps' hands. Leroy Kelly would have been the intended receiver over to the far side of the field. The pass is incomplete.
And Phipps is now 1 for 4, but of course that one pass he completed was the one good for sizable yardage to Ken Brown that set up the Cleveland touchdown. Anyhow, that time a good rush by Joe Green, and that's what the Steelers got to do. They got to bury Mr. Phipps a little bit.
Henry Davis goes off the field. We put in our 5th defensive back. That's J.T. Thomas playing right in the middle. And here's Phipps dropping back, throwing to the far side, in and out of the arms of a Steeler at the 43-yard line. Johnny Rouser came up in front of Frank Pitts, the intended receiver, and Rouser had it in the breadbasket and couldn't hold it.
He might have been going somewhere, too. He would have been going up that sideline. I don't know if he had clear sailing or not, but it would have been nice to have seen and found out.
Don Cockcroft gets to punt with the win. Line of scrimmage, the 45. Cockcroft stands at his own 30. Edwards and Meyer are deep for the Steelers. Here's the snap. Cockcroft gets a low snap, barely gets it away. Good rush on him. Down to Edwards over his head, taking a bad bounce. It's going to be down by Cleveland at the 5-yard line. Edwards let it carry over his head. It took a Cleveland bounce inside the 10 and wound up at the 5-yard line where it was touched down by the Cleveland Browns. Jim Romanishin, you did it to me again, from Edinburgh State.
Larry Brown of the Steelers had pressure on the punter, very nearly blocked it, but he did not, and so we have a kick of some 50 yards. Let's call it 50 yards, and the Steelers now down deep in the hole at their own 5-yard line.
All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 now at the 5. 7-7 ball game, 18 seconds remaining in the first period. Jim Clack is in at center, replacing Ray Mansfield for the Steelers. Clack goes over the football. Joe Gilliam quarterbacking in place of the injured Terry Hanratty. Gilliam looks at a 4-man front. Gilliam hands off to Preston, straight ahead over the left side of the 10-yard line. Picks up 5 yards. Charlie Hall makes the stop as Preston Pearson brings it straight out to the 10-yard line. Had a nice opening, and the clock is turning. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and we're coming to the end of the first quarter of the ball game. There's the end of the first period, and the score is Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland 7.
Preston Pearson on a quick opener over tackle has managed to pick up, about 4 yards on that first down at the end of the first quarter. So the Steelers in a little bit better shape now at their own 9.5-yard line, but at least they have the wind behind them now, and that certainly is important this afternoon. The Browns took good advantage of the wind on their punting game, and the Steelers, on the other hand, were having trouble kicking against that wind. So now things are reversed, and let's see if it helps the Steelers. Drop passes have hurt the Steelers today. Frank Lewis dropping what looked to be a short touchdown bomb. Ron Shanklin dropping a low, difficult, but catchable pass that would have been a first down. Johnny Roser dropping a Cleveland pass that would have been an interception. So we got to get some glue on the hands. Here go the Steelers.
Steelers just inside their own 10-yard line by about a foot. And Johnny Fuqua is in there for the first time this afternoon. The handoff to Frenchie, running to the left, turns the corner and goes out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Van Green made the stop for the Cleveland Browns, knocked him out of bounds. He picks up a strong 3 yards. Moving the ball up to the 13-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. Get some changes in people. Here is Shanklin out, Lewis out, and Larry Brown, let's see, Moon Mullins is in. Mullins takes one end. McMakin has Brown outside him on the right flank. And Rocky Blyer is in there as a blocking back. And the handoff to Franco, runs to the right. He's trapped. He's not going to get the first down. Franco ran to the right. Joe Jones and Jerry Shirk were waiting at the 14-yard line, so he had stopped a yard short of the first down. Bobby Walden will punt. Walden's average 41.4 on the season. Billy LaFleur and Greg Pruitt are deep. Pruitt to the right, LaFleur to the left of the punter. Walden standing at his own goal line, kicking right to left. The snap. And Walden gets it away, end over end, and bouncing into the arms of Pruitt. Puts his head down and comes up over the 45 and is down at the 43. LaFleur, rather. The stop made by Ed Bradley. We have a timeout on the field, and the score is Pittsburgh 7, Cleveland 7. Bob Walden kicking with the wind, got only 33 yards on the punt, and the Browns have it 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 43. And they've got Greg Pruitt in as a running back, along with Bo Scott. New set of running backs. Hand off to Scott. Out to the left. Turns the corner at the 40, the 35, and sails down to the 32-yard line. Up to make the tackle, Glenn Edwards. Bo Scott, 6'3", 215 pounds, in his 5th year out of Ohio State. And Greg Pruitt, the rookie from Oklahoma. Scott, the runner, picks up a first down. And for Cleveland, that is number 4 of the afternoon. And the Browns are at the Pittsburgh 31-yard line. First down, 10. The I formation. Pruitt at the top of the I. Hand off to Pruitt, running to the right. Tackle miss, comes over the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. Jack Ham lost him for a loss, and Henry Davis made the stop. Ham would have had him back around the 34-yard line. He broke away from him and moves the ball down to the 27-yard line. They mark it at the 26. So it's going to be 2nd down and a short 5. So let's see how the Browns line up. Deacon, Hickerson, DeMarco, Damari, and McKay, the interior linemen. They send Fair Hooker wide to the far side and bring Frank Pitts out as a flanker to the near side. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. On the long, gives on the delay to Bo Scott, running to the left of the 25, the 20. Knocked down and out of bounds on the far side of the field by Mel Blunt, the right cornerback. Gets him at the 16-yard line. The clock will turn as he hit inside the sideline and rolled out of bounds, but they have the first down at the Pittsburgh 16.
So Bo Scott making good yardage on 2 carries, moving to the left against the Steeler right side. That time Andy Russell almost nailed him, but couldn't hold him. So here are the Browns at the 16-yard line.
First down 10 at the Pittsburgh 16. The Browns moving into the wind, left to right. Phipps has his setbacks wide. Gives the ball to Pruitt. Pruitt hit at the 15, trying to get off the right side. Hit initially by Joe Green, and down he went. He got a yard on the play. It's going to be second down 9. Green in his 5th year out of North Texas State, 6'4", 275. Hit him squarely and solidly as he came to the 15-yard line. A 7-7 ball game with 12:07 to play in the second quarter. In the second period, St. Louis has taken a 10-7 lead over Cincinnati. In the first quarter, Philadelphia leads New York 7-0. Frank Pitts flanks far to the right. Fair Hooker out to the left, and Pitts is back to throw. Down the middle, complete for a touchdown. Greg Pruitt, the receiver. Pruitt takes the pass, and the Browns take the lead in the ballgame. For Pruitt, that is the 4th pass that he has caught this year and his first touchdown reception. So the rookie from Oklahoma is the receiver. And that was a 15-yard scoring play. Cockcroft will go for the point after. The ball is down with Don Horn, the holder. And the kick is good. Now with timeout on the field to score, Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 7.
Well, on a play-action pass, Mike Phipps sends Greg Pruitt. Fast little Greg Pruitt out of the backfield, up the middle. Got him isolated on Andy Russell, a linebacker, who, of course, had his hands full trying to keep pace with a guy like Pruitt. The result, the Browns strike for another touchdown. They now lead the Steelers in this ball game early in the second quarter, 14-7.
Cockcroft kicks off into the wind. And he kicks it well. And into the end zone. Preston Pearson out over the 5, to the 10, the 15, and is brought down short of the 20-yard line. Hit and stopped at the 19 by Jim Romanation. And he comes down at the 19-yard line. It will be first and 10 for the Steelers. The Browns leading 14-7. And the Cleveland crowd chanting defense. Joe Jones, Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, and Nick Roman in their front 4. The linebackers, Charlie Hall, Bob Babbitt, and John Garlington. Clarence Scott and Ben Davis on the corners. Walt Sumner and Van Green, a rookie from Shaw University, are the safeties. Joe Gilliam, the Pittsburgh quarterback, and Ratty, injured early in the first period. They shift out of the I. Franco and Frenchie are the running backs. A fake by Gilliam. He's deep. They're after him. He fires down the middle, and it is wide at the 40-yard line. Shanklin, the intended receiver, blanketed by Clarence Scott. And the pass coming down the middle falls incomplete. Bob Babbage had the rush on Gilliam. Second down and 10 yards to go. The Steelers at their own 20-yard line, trailing 14-7. In a critical game here at Cleveland. Out of the huddle, sending Shanklin to the right and bringing Larry Brown wide to the left. Now putting Lewis in the slot on the right side. Gilliam backpedals. Gilliam fires, hits his target at the 31-yard line. The pass is pulled in by Frank Lewis. Walt Sumner makes the tackle, and the Steelers have the first down. Frank Lewis hooking at the 31-yard line to take the pass. The fourth first down of the afternoon for the Steelers. And Gilliam has now completed 3 out of 6 passes. 1 for a touchdown. They spot the ball at the 32-yard line. Larry Brown is the Pittsburgh tight end, the third-year man from Kansas. Split hand to the left, flanker to the right. Gilliam, the quarterback, gives the ball to Frenchie through the middle over the 35 and out to the 36-yard line, and he runs into Jerry Shirk, and down he comes. The Frenchman is back and running this afternoon, and he picks up 3 yards. It will be second down 7.
And that time the Steelers were working out of bad turf where sand had been put down to soak up that mud, and they're in a little bit better condition right now with the ball at the 36.
At the far hash mark, the Steelers have the football. Gilliam calling the signal. Gilliam stops short, fires out into the left flat area. The ball pulled in, juggled by Lewis, held at the 42. He falls and is covered on the play by Ben Davis. Fine catch by Lewis. As he pulls the ball in as he fell, juggled it. Davis covered him, hit him a little too late. So Gilliam has completed another pass. And Lewis catching it at the near side of the field. They're going to measure to see if we have the first down, and we're inches short. Steelers inches short of a first down at their own 42-yard line. And I don't know whether Terry Hanratty has gone into the dressing room for attention or not. Have you been able to spot him over there?
Last I looked, he's down there, Jack, but apparently he's through for at least the half, if not the afternoon. They didn't wrap up his hand or anything. I don't know just what the difficulty is. It is his throwing hand, though.
Third down and inches for the Steelers. Jerry Mullins takes the left end position. Got 2 tight ends over on the right side. One set as a flanker in tight. And the handoff straight ahead, just off the left side. And we have the first down as Franco Harris carries the ball to the 44-yard line. Brought down by Walter Johnson. And they're going to spot the ball at the 44.5-yard line. The Steelers' 5th first down of the afternoon.
I'll tell you, I had my heart in my mouth. Franco didn't take that handoff very smoothly, and he was carrying the ball on his forearm. Finally got it tucked away just in time.
They're just short of their own 45-yard line. Shifting out of the I formation, the running backs are Harris and Fuqua. Gilliam, the quarterback, fakes to Franco, drops back. Now fires long to the far side to Shanklin. Overthrows him. Throws it out of bounds. Shanklin down at the Cleveland 30 to the far side of the field with Clarence Scott in pursuit. Nice fake. Had his man open. Overthrew him.
You may remember, Jack, that I was screaming because the Steelers weren't throwing to Mr. Shanklin enough. I didn't think so anyhow. There's a guy who every 2.5 catches has been scoring a touchdown. Today they are throwing to Shanklin. Maybe they got the message because he's been thrown to, I would guess, 5-6 times today.
As J.D. pointed out, Clarence Scott on him, the guy who shut out Fred Biletnikoff at Oakland last week. Shifting out of the I, this time Fuqua to the right and Harris to the left. Second down 10. Here's Gilliam being chased. Gilliam is caught. Gilliam goes down back at his own 30. Joe Jones sacks Joe Gilliam. A 13-yard loss on the sack, the first one of the afternoon. And the Steelers have a third down and 23-yard to go situation. Roman Ishin is in as the 4th linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, the rookie from Edinburgh State, replacing Walter Johnson. They set up for what appears to be a 3-man rush. It is. Gilliam is back. Gilliam has time. He throws. Pulled in by Larry Brown at the 50 over the 45. Gets the buck. Comes to the 40 to 30 racing. And is knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Bob Babbage caught him. Larry Brown, the tight end, got a block downfield from Frank Lewis. that gave him an extra 15 yards to go inside the Cleveland 25 to the Cleveland 23-yard line.
Yes, that was great work by Frank Lewis, who was downfield as a possible receiver, alertly put that block on Van Green, the rookie safety man of the Cleveland Browns, to enable the pass receiver to pick up Larry Brown to pick up, a good 12 more yards on the play.
Well, the clock shows 8:17 to play in the quarter. A 45-yard pass play to Larry Brown. Steelers are 1st and 10 now at the Cleveland 23. In the I formation. Fake to the inside man to give to Fuqua off the right side over the 20 and down to the 17. Van Green on the tackle. The fake executed perfectly, and then the hole opening over the right side. And the gain on the play of 6 yards. It will be 2nd down and 4 yards to go. With the ball spotted at the Cleveland 17, and the Steelers moving right to left. They have the wind behind them. 7:50 to play in the first half. Cleveland leads 14-7. McMakin is back in at tight end. Barry Pearson is in as a wide receiver. Shanklin to the right and Pearson to the left. Shifting Fuqua to the right off the top of the I. Gilliam, flag down, and the whistle blows the play dead. Gilliam coming back, and we get the play whistled dead. So the referee goes back to the original spot, the 17-yard line, and marks off 5 back to the 22. That's the first penalty that's been accepted, illegal procedure. 5-yard penalty against the Steelers. 2nd down 9.
A busted play. The Steelers were all balled up on that. Gilliam didn't have anybody to hand it off to, so here go the Steelers, and as you said, 2nd and 9 at the 22.
Now they split the tight end to the left, and they put a flanker in the slot on the right, and the pass out to the right side to Franco coming out of the backfield is incomplete at the 17. Charlie Hall covered him. That time they split the tight end McMakin. They put Barry Pearson in the slot to the right inside of Shanklin. Then threw to Franco coming out of the backfield out to the right, incomplete. Johnson and Shirk had the rush on Gilliam. Didn't give him the ultimate time to throw. Barry Pearson goes off the field, and Frank Lewis is back in as a Pittsburgh wide receiver, and the ball is back at the 22.
And that guy Johnson really smeared Gilliam after he got rid of the football that time. He was throwing under heat.
Ball at the far hash mark. Jim Clack to center. Joe Gilliam the player. Here, Cleveland is offside. Gilliam running to the right. The flag is down. Gilliam throws back down the middle. Intercepted at the 6-yard line with a football. Walt Sumner goes out of bounds to the far side. So the call on this one will be important. A Cleveland player was 5 yards over the line of scrimmage on the snap. And Cleveland was offside. A Cleveland lineman was way over. And Gilliam's pass was intercepted. The play is nullified. 5 yards takes it back to the 17.
And just trying to read Joe Gilliam's mind, I would think that he knew that guy was offside, and he figured he may as well do something with the ball because he had nothing to lose. As it turned out, the ball, well, it was intercepted, but he knew that that guy was offside because it was so clear.
Joe Jones, the left end of the Browns, came across early. He was almost 5 yards over. So now it is 3rd and 4, and Gilliam is back. He's looking. He fires. Downfield too long for Frenchie Fuqua. Fuqua maneuvering position at the 5. Gilliam throws deep in the end zone. John Garlington was covering. The pass is incomplete. We pause for station identification on the Steelers Football Network.
Hello, this is Chuck Brinkman. Join me every day, 9 to noon, for the greatest hits of all time.
WTAE AM and FM Pittsburgh.
Roy Girella has kicked 18 of 27 field goal tries this year. Bobby Walden will hold at the 24. Not the best footing down there. Not the worst. We saw much worse at Oakland. 24 yards out. The ball is down. Girella's kick is good. A line drive shot by Girella. He went down after he kicked it, slipped on the turf. He's okay. Steelers football continues after this brief timeout.
The Steelers, starting at their own 19-yard line, drove into Cleveland territory, finally being stopped at the Cleveland 17, whereupon Roy Girella has just booted a 24-yard field goal. The Steelers lead now 14-10.
Girella will kick off with the win. Billy LaFleur is stationed deep to the left, and Greg Pruitt deep to the right. Score 14-10 in favor of the Browns. Cincinnati now leading St. Louis 14-10. Philadelphia leading the New York Giants 10-3. Both of those ball games are in the second quarter. Girella taking his time to set this one up on the tee. Roy Girella cleans off his cleats, and he's ready to go. Here he comes, and he boots it. Not too long, coming down short. Pruitt at the 6, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, still running the 30, leaps the 35, he's to the 40, and they ride him down at the 44-yard line. Girella, the kicker, in on the tackle, and Roy Girella helped out on the play by Lauren Taves. Taves and Girella finally make the stop, and that is a 38-yard return by Greg Pruitt.
And I tell you, the Steeler kickers have not capitalized on having the wind at their back in the second quarter. Walden with the 33-yard punt, that time Girella kicking off only to the 5-yard line. They better take advantage of that wind while they have it.
Pruitt averaging 30 yards a return on kickoff. Both Scott is in and set as a single setback. They have a man in the slot. They've got 4 receivers spread. And here's Phipps throwing into the right flat, completing it to Pitts. And Pitts spins away from a tackler, comes to the 50. He got away from Johnny Rouser, was hit by L.C. Greenwood at the 50-yard line, and they pick up about 5.5 yards. Throwing sharply to the right flat to Frank Pitts, and I believe that's the first time he's been a target this afternoon. 9-year veteran from Southern. We had him 3 for 7 passing. The Steelers are 6 for 12. Hanratty threw one, completed one, and was hurt on the play, went out. All right, the Browns are at the 50-yard line. 6:17 to play in the second quarter. Mike Phipps is the quarterback. Phipps on a long count. Gives the ball to Bo Scott, and he's nailed nicely by Andy Russell at the 45-yard line. Took the handoff. Nailed for a 5-yard loss. Back at the 45-yard line, and even as he took it, Russell was there. And the defensive captain of the Steelers made the play, and it's going to be 3rd down 10. The ball marked at the 44.5-yard line in Cleveland territory. Next Sunday, no action for the Steelers. A week from Monday night, we're at the Orange Bowl in Miami to play the Dolphins. They're out of the huddle. Gloucester Richardson is in. He's set out to the left. They have a man in the slot on the left side. A single setback. Here's Phipps back. Receivers all over the place. Fires under pressure and overthrows his target. Greg Pruitt at the 50-yard line with double coverage on him. L.C. Greenwood with a great rush almost had Phipps. Phipps had to sidearm it to get rid of it, and he overthrew.
And I think Jack Hand was moving up with an interception in mind, but Phipps overthrew, so he never had a chance to make that interception. Anyhow, the Browns now with the 4th down, long yardage, 4th and 10 at their own 44-yard line, and they'll punt.
Cockcroft will kick into the wind. We could use a great return right here. We could use a block punt. I guess you could use any of those things. Gets a high snap, but gets his punt away. Up into the wind and coming down, fair catch called for. Dennis Meyer at his own 21-yard line pulls it in, and the Steelers will put it in play at that point. At their own 21, it will be 1st and 10. Cleveland leading 14-10. 5:12 to play in the first half here at the Lakefront Stadium. In the second quarter, Philadelphia leading New York 13-6. Second quarter score, Cincinnati 14, the Cardinals 10. And our broadcast this afternoon going worldwide over the Armed Forces Radio Network. Very nice to have everybody with us, tuned in for the Steelers and the Browns. On a 45-degree day in Cleveland. If you're from this area near the lake, you know what we're talking about. The wind is whistling. Pittsburgh with the football moving right to left. Shifting Frenchie Fuqua off the top of the eye. Joe Gilliam, the quarterback, hands it to Franco Harris, running to the left without protection. Picks up about 3 yards. Franco running under his own power, advancing the ball near the 23. Bob Babbage and John Garlington making the tackle. We started at the 21.5, so he picks up about 1.5 yards, so we'll call it second. And a long 8. In an odd situation in this booth, there is a protective device to keep people from dropping things out in front of us, and it screens the near sideline from us as we look down on this field. Therefore, about 3 or 4 times, I've lost track of where the play actually started because we're screened off from the sticks on the near side. Here's a draw, handoff, fumble, picked up on the bounce by Harris, and he's nailed at the 23. Babbage and Garlington got on him. On the draw, Gilliam gave it to Franco. Franco dropped it, picked it up on the bounce, and immediately was nailed. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
Yes, and it's a good thing he was able to hold it, because no sooner had he picked it up than Garlington really belted him. So Franco did a good job of hanging on to that football the second time, if not the first time.
At the 22.5-yard line, 3rd down, 9 yards to go for the Steelers. They line up in the I. Shanklin to the right. Frank Lewis to the left. Shifting out of the I. Joe Gilliam looks at a 5-man front set by the Cleveland Browns. And there's a whistle. He may have taken too much time. Here is a Cleveland lineman, Nick Roman, coming in after the whistle to grab Gilliam, and the official grabbed Roman by the shoulder to pull him away from Gilliam. Delay of game against the Steelers. Gilliam took too long. 5-yard penalty. Takes the football back to the 17-yard line. Second penalty against the Steelers, total of 10 yards. 3rd down now and about 14 to go. They send Shanklin out to the right. He's flanking. Bring Lewis to the left as the split end. Gilliam steps out from under center. Now he's going to walk up. Joe Gilliam takes quickly, drops back. Gilliam chased out of the pocket, throws back to French. He can't hold it at the 22. It is incomplete and almost intercepted. Charlie Hall and Babbage were on him for a moment. I thought Babbage might have the football, but it fell incomplete. Tough chance for Buchla. And they're going to send Pruitt and Holden deep. And Bobby Walden will punt from his own 5-yard line. That's where he stands. Steve Holden and Greg Pruitt station themselves at the Cleveland 35. The Browns lead 14-10. Walden now standing at his own 3, takes the snap and gets the punt away. And a fair catch call for the ball is fumbled, and the Steelers have it. Holden lost the football. It bounced off his chest and into the arms of the Steeler at the 50-yard line, and they're fighting over it. The play is dead. It is Pittsburgh's football, and the man who got the football was Pittsburgh's Greg Hanneman at the 50-yard line. So on the muff, the ball goes over to Pittsburgh at the 50.
Yes, that ball popped right into Hanneman's hand, and he ran right into a pile, but hung on to the ball. The Steelers have 3 minutes and 18 seconds to do something. That's how much time remains in the second quarter.
Big play at the 50-yard line. Steelers with the football. Gilliam hands off to Franco with a blocker. Running to the left, turns the corner, and picks up 5 yards. Bruce Van Dyke was the pulling guard blocking for him, got him across the 50, and Franco runs to the Cleveland 45. John Garlington makes the tackle. 2nd down and 5 yards to go. The muff punt set the ball up for the Steelers at the 50-yard line. With Hanneman recovering it for Pittsburgh. We split 2 ends at a flanker wide left. Draw handoff to Franco, running to the right. Sam Davis blocking, can't protect him, and Franco is on his own. He'll pick up a couple of yards. Jerry Shirk and John Garlington met him as Franco threw on the brakes and tried to change course. He gets 2 yards out of the play. It is 3rd and 3 at the Cleveland 43.
I really couldn't understand Franco hesitating there, perhaps thinking of cutting, but the reason I couldn't understand it is Sammy Davis was out there blocking for him on the sweep, and it looked like he was doing a good job and that Franco had running room, but Franco hesitated and was doomed.
We get the whistle for the 2-minute warning, and now with timeout on the field, the score is Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 10.
Friends, you can get an officially licensed NFL sports shirt. The same sports shirt is worn by all the Steelers, free from Pittsburgh National. Just deposit $500 in the Pittsburgh National regular passbook account. You earn 5% annual interest, compounded semi-annually, and we'll mail your shirt right to your home. The shirts come in adult sizes, small, medium, large, and extra large. Hurry, the supply is limited. Come into any of our convenient offices and open a new account or add your present one today. So whether your game is football, golf,
crowd's very quiet right now. Smith is trying for a 15-foot birdie.
or just looking handsome.
Pardon me, sir. Are you a professional football player?
Get your official NFL Steelers sports shirt from Pittsburgh National. After all, everyone plays a better game with money in the bank.
Pittsburgh National Bank.
Member FDIC.
Well, last week the Cleveland Browns defense teed off on Kenny Stabler, the Oakland Raiders quarterback, and gave him a terrible time. So the Steelers, obviously with that in mind, have predominantly kept the ball on the ground today, though they have thrown about 14 passes. They don't want to give that defense a chance to tee off, but here they are, 3rd and 3 at the 43 of the Cleveland Browns.
Here's Gilliam firing out to the left, completing the pass to Frank Lewis at the 38-yard line. And it is good for a first down. Ben Davis made the tackle. And they went for the short gainer to the sideline. And that will be the 7th first down for the Steelers. Pittsburgh's 14th pass tried. 7 of them completed. And Gilliam has thrown all but 1 and completed 6 out of the 7 completions. 1st and 10, that's a big play. Gilliam straight back. Gilliam looking, firing to the far side, and it's pulled in by Lewis, and what do they rule? Out of bounds at the 22-yard line, incomplete. Walt Sumner covering. Lewis made his little move at the sideline to pull it in, but the official right on the play said you were out of bounds.
Well, I tell you, Pat Knight, the official who called it, well, he's closer to it than we are, that's for sure, but I thought Gilliam was in bounds there, and Dwight White, standing along the sidelines, came up screaming bloody murder at the official. But it goes for nothing, and the Steelers now with 2nd and 10 at the 38-yard line.
I couldn't say. I got a better view of the U.S. Steel building from here than I do of that play over there. That's a long way off. Boy, he was trying hard to stay in. It is 2nd down. Gilliam back. Gilliam looking. Gilliam firing the ball down the middle. Lewis racing for it. It's overthrown. Nobody could catch it. He threw the ball all the way to the end line in the end zone. Walt Sumner and Van Green covering Frank Lewis downfield. No way Lewis could get there, and I think the wind would be the factor there as he cut loose, and it took it.
Matter of fact, it even traveled out of the end zone by about a yard.
So now it is 3rd and 10, and we need a little yardage. If nothing else, to get Jarrell a little closer. We're trailing by 4 points, 14 to 10. With 1:12 to play in the first half. Steelers line up on 3rd and 10. 5-man front for the Cleveland Browns. A 4-man rush. Gilliam is back. Gilliam fires. Leaping catch off the fingertips of Shanklin at the 25. Shanklin went up in the air, made a game effort to get it as he was covered by Clarence Scott. And the pass is incomplete. On comes Roy Jarrella. This will be a 45-yard attempt. Jarrella in this range has made 3 out of 5 between the 40 and the 49. He's kicked 1 field goal already this afternoon. And now timeout has been called down on the field, and they want to get set up for this one. Bobby Walden will be the holder. Jarrella kicked his earlier one from 24 yards.
And I think, of course, on this kick, with the wind at his back, while he'll be kicking from about the 45, he'll have a lot of help. I think the Steelers had a little bit of a manpower mix-up there. Glenn Ray Hines late getting onto the field, so they called a timeout to save themselves a penalty, which was the thing to do.
Greg Pruitt down under the goalpost alone. This will be a 45-yard attempt. Girella kicks it, coming in wide and short. Pruitt at the 1, out over the 5, to the 10, to the 15. He's to the 20. He's hit and goes down at the 22-yard line. Greg Pruitt hit by Steve Davis. And brought down. John McBacon over there, too. So, Girella's kick, short and wide, from 45 yards out. A minute 2 remaining in the second quarter. And the Browns have the football now at their own 21.5-yard line. They move into the wind, left to right. Mike Phipps has Gloucester Richardson as a wide receiver. Set up to the far side. Frank Pitts to the near side. Running back, Scott and Pruitt. Hand off to Pruitt. Through the middle. Finds a little opening to the 26-yard line. And down he goes. He was wiggling for space that time. Finally trapped at the 26-yard line and brought down. And the first man to him was J.T. Thomas. Cleveland calls timeout. It will be second down and 5.
Kind of disgusting the way the Steelers' kicking game has failed to take advantage of the wind in this second quarter. Girella's short 45-yarder being the latest example of that. He had a short kickoff earlier in the second quarter. Walton had a short punt. So the wind has not helped the Steelers because they have not taken advantage of it with good kicking.
Cleveland has 46 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The Browns lead it by 4 points, 14-10. Cincinnati holds to a 14-10 lead over St. Louis, and they're closing out the second quarter. And Philadelphia leads the Giants 13-6 late in the second quarter. Those are the only scores up on the board at the present time. And now, Mike Phipps has completed a consultation with Nick Storich and is back out on the field. A lot of empty seats here at the Lakefront Stadium today, although they sold 500 standing room positions in the stadium for the game. Over the football goes Bob DeMarco. They set a flanker to the right. They put a man in the slot on the right. And the handoff goes to Pruitt. He's missed by Joe Green behind the line of scrimmage and dives forward to the 27-yard line. They set up what appeared to be a passing formation and tried to cross the Steelers up, giving the ball to Pruitt, wanting to break him through the middle. 30 seconds remaining in the quarter. It is 3rd and 4.
What is that bumblebee doing in this booth? It's on my hair. There, it's gone.
Rather chilly day for a bumblebee.
It's on my bald spot. It's back. A bumblebee.
The Browns ready to go. Back goes Mike Phipps. He's hit. He breaks loose. He runs to the right over the 25. He's hit at the 28. Spins away and is out of bounds at the 28-yard line. J.T. Thomas made the last hit on him. He was still on his feet as he went out of bounds. Well short of a first down. It'll be 4th down, and Cleveland will punt it with only 2 seconds remaining. So Glenn Edwards drops back. Dennis Meyer comes on the field. What a dramatic finish this would be to the first half if Edwards would return this punt 65 yards for a touchdown. They hustle to get a man out there on their specialty teams. Running on the field late, Mel Long. He makes it. Cockcroft standing at his own 13, gets the punt away. And Meyer will take it, pulls it in at the 44, and down he goes. He is nailed immediately, running to his right by Lapeer. And the gun sounds the end of the first half of the ball game with a score Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 10.
Halftime at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. The Cleveland Browns leading the Steelers 14-10. The public address announcer here has just made a rather surprising announcement. which is to say that he revealed that the Ohio State Buckeyes and not the Michigan Wolverines will be going to the Rose Bowl. Those two teams, of course, yesterday played to a 10-10 tie, and so it was left to the faculty representatives of the Big Ten schools to decide which team would represent the conference in the Rose Bowl. And most of the guesses had been that it would be Michigan because Ohio State was the last one to go to the Rose Bowl, and Michigan had come on yesterday to play a strong second half. But lo and behold, the Rose Bowl has been awarded to Ohio State, which, of course, is an announcement of some importance here in Ohio. Well, in the first half, we saw the Steelers, right after the opening kickoff, sock it to the Brownies, passing and running to put a quick touchdown on the board, and it appeared that maybe they'd have an easy afternoon, but such was not to be the case in the first half because a couple of Steeler mistakes. For example, a dropped pass by Frank Lewis that probably would have gone for a long bomb six-pointer. Also, a mix-up in Steeler defensive coverage that allowed Ken Brown of the Browns to get open and rack up sizable yardage on a pass play that set up a touchdown. Those two plays put the Brownies right back into the ball game, and they took command to move out front 14-7, but a field goal by Roy Jarrella made it a little closer, 14-10, and the Steelers, by beating the Browns today, if they should come back to beat the Browns, can virtually, although not mathematically, lock up the divisional title. And if they do not beat the Browns, why, we're in a real dogfight because then they'll be leading Cleveland by only a half game in the Central Division. So that's the way it stands right now here at Municipal Stadium, 14-10 in favor of the Browns. And today's halftime show now continues with Ron Reiniger. So we're about ready for the second half kickoff, and here's Jack Fleming.
Well, it's nice to hear you mention a name like Lou Groza from out of the past, and for our worldwide listeners, I might say you've been listening to the voice of Myron Cope, and that's a voice from out of the past, great writer for Sports Illustrated.
A voice from out of the past?
Now,
why is it a voice from out of the past? Now
turning his talents to radio and television and polluting the air worldwide.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For your kind remarks.
We have LaFleur and Pruitt deep, and Jarrella kicks off right to left, and he boots it well this time, takes Pruitt deep in the end zone, and he'll settle for the 20-yard line. Pruitt kneels for the touchback, and the Browns will put it in play at their 20. Cincinnati in the third quarter leading St. Louis 14-10. New England with a 10-0 lead over Houston in the opening period. Baltimore leading Buffalo 7-3 in the second quarter. Philadelphia still leading New York 13-6 in the third period. Chicago and Minnesota are 3-3 in the second quarter. That's a surprise. Cleveland 1st and 10, shifting out of the I formation. The wide set. Mike Phipps on a long count, takes his time. Steelers appear to be offside. A flag goes down. Pass almost intercepted. Out to the right side at the 35, intended for Frank Pitts, and Johnny Rouser made a try at it. I think Joe Green was offside on the play. Yep. That'll cost us 5 yards.
Well, Joe has that quick reaction, that fast start, and he does get caught off sides every now and then because he's jumping around a lot in that line, too. But, of course, that speed is one of his greatest assets.
First quarter score, Los Angeles nothing, New Orleans nothing. 1st and 5 for the Cleveland Browns. Hand off to the left side. Ken Brown running, breaks the tackle at the 25 and gets back to the 28-yard line. White hit him and lost him, and Mel Blunt made the stop, so he picked up about 3 yards. It will be 2nd and 2. And they have moved the yard markers to the far side of the field as they switch at halftime, and that'll help. I'm getting cold.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, it could be a lot colder here this time of the year. We're kind of fortunate.
Handoff straight ahead, and the play is stopped. Ken Brown trying it through the middle, and he ran head-on into a host of Steelers, and Jack Ham was right at the bottom of the play. That will give them the 29-yard line. 3rd and 1. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. Chip Glass is in, second tight end. Glass is on the left flank. Milt Morin is on the right flank. The flanker back, Frank Pitts, is set in close. Mike Phipps. Long count. Hands it off to Kelly. Sweeping right. Kelly is hit and stopped short of the first down. Coming up was Mike Wagner to nail him at the 29-yard line. And they went outside to the right, and they didn't make it. Nice play.
Oh, a heck of a play by Mike Wagner. He appeared to have that corner turned, the ball carrier did, but Wagner came up full steam and really knifed into him, dumped him in his tracks. So the Steelers now will be in punt receiving formation, and they'll be taking over the football.
Line of scrimmage is the 29. Cockcroft is stationed back at the 14, and we have Edwards deep and Meyer up about 6 yards. Cockcroft has the ball in his punt. Lazy went up into the wind. Meyer wants the fair catch. He can't get to the football. Blocked off, and it bounces inside the 40 down to the 35 to the 32. That almost violates the rule. Not quite.
You know, those punts into the window, Jack, they're held up so suddenly, and then they tend to float, and it's very difficult on the receiver trying to get under them. And that time, Meyer, I think, was wise to just let that ball bounce.
He actually couldn't get to it. The Browns were in front of him.
Yeah.
At the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. We trail 14-10, just into the third quarter. Steelers with the ball. Joe Gilliam hands it off. And a nice carry forward over the 35 and out to the 39-yard line. Preston Pearson, the ball carrier. Jerry Shirk and Van Green bring him down. Picks up a good solid 6 yards on the carry. It will be 2nd and 4. So Terry Hanratty comes up with the injured wrist. And Joe Gilliam took over, and he's done a commendable job. Hanratty completed his first pass tried, a long one, and was hurt on that play. Gilliam, the second-year man, gives right side to Pearson, finds the hole, and comes through over the 40 out to the 43. He is very near to a first down. Jerry Shirk on top of him. John Garlington, the linebacker, down low. Let's set that Cleveland defense for you with Joe Jones, Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, and Nick Roman in the front four. The linebackers left to right are Hall, Babbage, and Garlington. Clarence Scott on the left corner, Ben Davis on the right corner. The safeties are Walt Sumner and Van Green. They're measuring now for the first down. And Pittsburgh has it. 8th of the afternoon for the Steelers. We have John Kolb, Sam Davis, Jim Clack, Bruce Van Dyke, and Glenn Ray Hines in the interior line. Change that center position to Ray Mansfield, who is back in, the veteran. Wide receiver to the right, Shanklin. To the left is Lewis. Running backs are Pearson and Harris. From the Pittsburgh 43, the handoff to Preston. Crossbuck over the 45. He goes to the 50. From left to right, found the opening. Charlie Hall and Van Green make the tackle. Now they've probed and they've found something, and they've changed their plan of attack, and the ground game is moving now. It's 2nd and 3.
Yes, and they seem to have found softness in the left side of the Cleveland line, because all three of those running plays have been inside over that left side.
They line up in the I formation. Shift out of it. Franco to the right, Preston to the left. Second down, about 3.5 yards to go. Hand off to Preston, off the right side again, and he's up to the Cleveland 46-yard line, and he has a first down. Jerry Shirk and Van Green make the tackle. They will spot it at the 45.5-yard line. 9th first down of the afternoon. Preston Pearson, out of Illinois, 7-year veteran. Known as a basketball player for the Illini.
That's what he did in college. He didn't play football.
We send Ron Shanklin to the right. Bring Frank Lewis to the near side wide. We're in the I formation. Going to run out of the I. The handoff goes to Pearson, running to the right. Hesitates, then cuts forward over the 40, the 35, the 30, breaks the tackle. He's to the 20. They're after him at the 15. Down at the 14-yard line. Nick Roman finally caught him. Great hesitation move by Preston Pearson. And he gave it just a little hesitation, turned it on, and went and broke a tackle. And undoubtedly, somebody did a job of getting him over.
Ron Shanklin laid a beautiful block on the 30-yard line, just laid out a Cleveland guy. Ron Shanklin, not a real strong guy, a wide receiver but he dumped a brownie, and Preston was by him and going for good yardage down to the 14-yard line from the 45.
First down, 10. At the 14-yard line. Gilliam gives it to Preston again. Heading into the middle, cutting back to the right. He's over the 10 and down to the 9 for a 5-yard gain. Jerry Shirk and Charlie Hall made the stop. And that time he hit into the middle, cut back to his right. And they're going to mark it at the 13-yard line, and Preston's picked up another solid gain.
And his big gainer was good for 29 yards. There's no question, Chuck, but what they're working on, Walter Johnson, the left tackle of the Cleveland Browns. He's a strong guy, normally a good dependable tackle, but the Steelers did half for drubbing him.
Put the ball at the 8, not the 13. My mistake. Second down, 4 yards to go. A long 4. Hand off to Franco, straight ahead over the left side, and he's just short of the 5. Franco Harris, straight ahead across the left side. Babbage and Sumner on the stop. And now we come in with some power players. Larry Brown, Moon Mullins, Rocky Blyer. Off goes Frank Lewis. Off goes Pearson. And off goes Shanklin. Crowd roaring. They have placed the ball at the 6-yard line, and it's going to be third down and the long 2. Third and the long 2. We line up with 2 tight ends. Larry Brown flanks tight on the right side. Moon Mullins is the tight end to the left. Blyer is in there to either block or run. Hand off to Fuqua, or rather to Harris, and he's nailed. Running to the left, breaking through Roman and Babbage. And they stop the play as Franco Harris, trying to get outside to the left, is nailed along the 7-yard line. We'll go for the field goal.
Nick Roman that time driving over Steeler tackle John Kolb to foul up the Steeler third down play. So that's what it'll be. It'll be a field goal from about the 14-yard line.
Walden the holder, and Girella kicking from the 14. He is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. This is his closest attempt. Ball snapped down. Roy Girella kicks it. It is good. Girella from 14 yards out, and with timeout on the field to score. Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13.
Without putting the ball in the air once, the Steelers drove from their own 33 to the Cleveland 7, but the running game bogged down there when Franco Harris tried to sweep the left side. So the Roy Girella kicked a 14-yard field goal, and it's now the Steelers 13, the Browns 14. The Browns leading by a point now.
LaFleur and Pruitt are deep, and here's the kickoff. Coming down to Billy LaFleur, deep in the end zone. He'll come out with it. He's to the 5, running to his left behind the 10. He's missed and comes down at the 10. J.T. Thomas could not get him. Ed Bradley did, and there's a flag down on the play. LaFleur fell forward to the 12-yard line, slipped away from J.T. Then Bradley got him, and we get a flag and a clip called against Cleveland. That will cost them half the distance.
Yes, somebody clipped Rocky Blyer. I'll say this about LaFleur. He's a man with no fear. He caught that ball 8 yards deep in the end zone and tried to run it out, which was foolish, of course. And as a result, the Cleveland Brownies now are deep in the hole at their own 5-yard line.
All right, if we can hold them here, the ball is marked at the 5.5-yard line. First down, 10 for the Cleveland Browns. And we got to get something done here in the third quarter, because in the fourth period, we go against that win. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, has shifted Kelly off the top of the eye. Phipps gives the ball to Leroy with a blocker running to the right, turns the corner at the 5, and then is knocked down. Johnny Rouser took the pins out from under him at the 6. He falls forward to about the 8. Kelly getting up slowly. Is he hurt? He's shaken up a little. He's up on his feet. The ball is out to the Cleveland 8, and Kelly is coming off the field, and in comes Greg Pruitt. And that could be nothing but trouble. About a 2.5-yard gain for Leroy Kelly. Second down and a short 8 yards to go.
Now, if the Steelers hold the Browns here, it will be very important in retaking command of this ball game, because so far they have dominated the third period, and this is important stuff going on right down there now.
Cincinnati now leading St. Louis 21-10 in the third quarter. They put a lot of receivers out wide with a single setback. Steelers stunning a little on defense. Here's a handoff on a deep draw to Ken Brown, running to the left, turns the corner at the 10, puts his head down, bucks over the 15 to the 17-yard line. Running out to the left, put his head down and ran into Mel Blunt. Picked up a couple of extra yards, and he has a first down. So they get out of the hole, and they're out to the 17-yard line, first and 10.
Well, they did get out of the hole, that's for sure, and now they still, well, doggone. I was hoping they'd keep them pinned there and really muscle them this half.
They sent their hooker wide to the left, flanking Frank Pitts to the right there in the I formation. Threw it at the top of the I. Brown, the inside man. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. Phipps stops short, will pass out to the right. Intercepted by Wagner at the 33-yard line. He goes down immediately. The pass intended for Pitts. And Mike Wagner came right in on top of him to intercept for the Steelers. And that is the first interception of the afternoon for Pittsburgh. Wagner's 7th interception. And you know, we were having trouble. We got no turnovers against Denver. So that is the second big turnover of the afternoon for the Steelers, and we barely missed another one on a pass interception that we almost had in the first half. Wagner gives the ball back to the Steelers at the 33-yard line. First down, 10. Joe Gilliam, the quarterback. Running backs are Pearson and Harris. Handoff to Franco. He has a blocker running to the left at the 30. Fights his way down and out of bounds at the 29. Bruce Van Dyke, the pulling guard, blocking that time. John Garlington and Van Green force him out of bounds on the near side of the field.
Judge Bruce Van Dyke is doing great work this half, I'll tell you. He's been doing a job up in the line against Walter Johnson, the Browns' left tackle. And on that play, fooling and leading the way for Franco Harris. So Van Dyke is in there, he's all business, and he's playing like the all-pro guard he should be recognized as.
Second down and 6 yards to go. The Steelers at the Cleveland 29-yard line. Lewis left, Shanklin right. Running backs Pearson and Harris. Gilliam to Preston, off the right side. He dives and goes almost to the 25. Bob Babbage had him, and he took a little extra effort when diving forward. Let's see where they mark it. Just outside the 25-yard line. It's going to be third down. And about 3 yards to go. They're spotting the ball at the 25 and a half. 3rd and 3. And the Steelers come out of the huddle. Shanklin right, Lewis left. Out of the I formation. Pearson and Harris are the running back. And here's a quick shot out to the left. The pass complete to Lewis at the 20, and he's out of bounds at the 18-yard line. And he has a first down. Joe Gilliam calls a good one. Backs up about 3 steps. Fires quickly into the left flat to Frank Lewis. Lewis forced out of bounds by Ben Davis. And the Steelers have a first down at the Cleveland 18-yard line.
And that is the first time that Joe Gilliam has put the ball in the air this half. Is that right, Jack?
Right. Steelers are 8 for 18 passing. Gilliam has thrown all of them but one. At the 18-and-a-half-yard line, it is first and 10. In Cleveland territory. Deep handoff to Pearson. Big haul down to the 15 and on to the 10-yard line. And again, he got a good opening over the line of scrimmage. John Garlington nailed him down at the 10. An 8-yard gain.
Oh, was there ever a hole up the middle of that line for Preston to breeze through? That Steeler offensive line is playing ball this half, I'll tell you.
Somebody got trapped right out of their pants on that one.
Oh, they got them dizzy down there.
Nice hole. And here come the Steelers out of the huddle. 2nd and 2 at the Browns' 10-yard line. Shanklin wide right. Lewis to the left. Here is Gilliam looking. Gilliam firing down the middle, and it is incomplete. It hit the goalpost. Clarence Scott covering the intended receiver on the play. And would that have been Lewis or Shanklin? Apparently Shanklin coming across.
But I don't know, Jack. Do you throw on that second down? I don't know if I would have, the way that ground game's been rolling, but, shut up, Cope.
Ball is at the 10, 3rd, 1.5 yards. I know what you're talking about, Myron. They're moving it on the ground. Now the Browns can stack up against us. Rocky Blyer is in there. Larry Brown is in. Moon Mullins is in. It's the tight power formation. Hand off to Blyer, running to the right. And they nail him at the 9-yard line. He is short of a first down. Now a big decision. Ben Davis and Van Green get Rocky Blyer. He kept churning away, and he's very near to a first down, but would appear to have missed it. Let's pause for station identification on the Steelers Football Network.
This is Mark Roberts. Be listening as we bring back that old feeling each afternoon, 12 to 3.
WTAE AM and FM Pittsburgh.
They put the 6 down, and the Steelers missed it by about a foot. Now comes the decision. They're going to go for it. At the 9-yard line, it is 4th and a half yard to go. Here they come out of the huddle. Jerry Mullins, tight at left end. John McMakin, tight at right end. Tight flanker right side, Larry Brown. Blyer shifts to the left off the top of the eye. Gilliam is the quarterback. Gilliam to Franco, and Franco dives into the right side. It was almost a broken play. As he took the ball, he ran into Joe Gilliam, and he bounced off of him and kept going forward, and I think he has it. It's going to be very close. Holy moly. He came forward as he took the handoff. He ran into Gilliam. There was a collision. He bounced off of him, and under his own power, appeared to get the yardage. And they're going to call for the sticks as they have placed the football down. And they bring the sticks in from the far side of the field and set them down. We miss it by inches. Cleveland takes over at its own 9-yard line.
Well, on Thanksgiving Day, we saw Tom Landry try it and fail. We saw, who was it, Don Shula try it and fail. I don't know when coaches are going to learn that that's dangerous going for that first down on 4th. You take the 3 points, that's all. I've said it before, and I don't know. I guess I'll be saying it forever.
All right, the Browns have made a big defensive stop inside their 10. First down 10 at the 9. Hits the quarterback. From the eye to the top of the eye to Kelly. Kelly coming off the right side is nailed. No gain. He ran into lots of trouble. Jack Ham high, Joe Green low, and Dwight White over there too. And there's no gain on the play. Leroy Kelly, the 10-year veteran from Morgan State, trying to get off the right side that time. Second down, 10 yards to go. The clock shows 3:38 to play in the third quarter. The Browns lead the Steelers 14 to 13. We just gambled on 4th and about a foot and lost the gamble on what was almost a broken play. Second and 10. Pitts back in the end zone. Pitts being chased. They got him. No, he breaks away. Now he's running forward. He's up to the 12 and goes out of bounds at the 14. Jack Ham got him. Who almost had him? LC almost had him in the end zone, and that 2 points would have given the Steelers the lead.
Yes, indeed. LC had him 2 yards deep in the end zone, but couldn't hang on. Phipps gets away, and the Browns are out of the hole.
He was looking for somebody to lateral to as he went down. He makes it to the 14-yard line. It is third down and a short 5 for the Browns. And the Steelers bring J.T. Thomas in, a 5th defensive back. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to play in this third quarter. We're down by a point. Cincinnati now leading St. Louis 28 to 10. Here is Phipps back to throw. Phipps gets his pass away, and it is intercepted. Nope, incomplete. Beautiful coverage on fair hooker up at the 39-yard line by Mel Blunt, who made a diving try for the interception, could not hold it. But they stopped the Browns, and Cleveland will have to give up the football. And Don Cockcroft will punt it. And he's punting into the wind. The wind has been an odd factor this afternoon. And I don't think the Steelers have benefited from it too often. Let's see what it does this time if he puts it up. Cockcroft 2 yards deep in the end zone, takes a high snap and gets his kick away. Wobbly. Dennis Meyer pulls it in at the Cleveland 43, comes over the 40, right into the right, picks up some blockers, and comes down to the 33-yard line. I thought for a minute he was going to wade right out of there. Dennis Meyer made a daring catch in the face of the on-rushing Browns. He was tackled by Jim Stanky at the 33 with time out on the field to score Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13.
Well, that Dennis Meyer is all nerve. He took that punt in the face of the Cleveland charge and returned it nicely to the 33, and here go the Steelers in Browns territory again.
At the 33-yard line, first down 10. Shifting Pearson to the left off the top of the eye. Joe Gilliam, the quarterback, hands off to Franco Harris. Running to his left, he is nailed along the 35-yard line. Well played by John Garlington. Loss of about 2.5 yards as Franco saw no hole and tried to get to the outside and was stopped dead. So we're at Cleveland Stadium this afternoon. Jack Fleming and Myron Cope and our Steeler radio crew will next be coming at you from Miami a week from Monday night. The Dolphins. Steelers out of the huddle. Ron Shanklin flanks right. Frank Lewis splits left. And the setbacks are wide. Gilliam drops back, gives a draw handoff to Franco, running to the left, and they get him. He crosses the 35, makes it to the 33, and Jerry Shirk was not fooled. Appeared as though they would cross him up on a neat handoff by Gilliam, but Shirk was not to be fooled. So the ball is back to the 33-yard line, and it's going to be third down and about 10 yards to go. Frenchie Fuqua replaces Preston Pearson as a running back for Pittsburgh. Cleveland deploys. 4-3 defense. Steelers shifting out of the eye. Fuqua and Harris are the running backs. Gilliam goes back. Gilliam rush. Gilliam gets rid of the football downfield off the fingertips of Shanklin. Incomplete, almost intercepted. Gilliam throwing under pressure way back at the 48-yard line. And the pass went off the fingertips of Shanklin, almost intercepted by Walt Sumner. Fine rush put on him by the forward wall of Cleveland. And the second-year man stood his ground and got rid of the football in a daring move, and he almost hit his target.
And so we'll have a field goal attempt from the 46-yard line. Roy Girella.
At the 41-yard line, Girella kicking. The ball is down. Girella boots it. And it is sailing wide and no good. 41-yard miss by Girella. Cleveland takes the football, and with time out on the field to score. Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13.
Today's Steelers-Browns football game is being heard worldwide through the facilities of the American Armed Forces Radio Network, which includes 350 stations around the world. And to our American servicemen, we say, nice to have you with us.
At their own 20-yard line, Cleveland. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, calling the signals from the I formation. Kelly at the top of the I, Brown inside. Pitch to Kelly to the right, running to the right, hit at the 20 and brought down. Leroy Kelly trying to get outside to the right. Slowed down out here by Johnny Rouser and caught by L.C. Greenwood and brought down, gained inches on the play. Second down, 10. Clock running, 59 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13. Minnesota now leads the Bears 10-3. Philadelphia leads the Giants 20-9. Buffalo leads Baltimore 10-7. Phipps ready to go. Second and 10 at his own 20. Mike Phipps drops back. Phipps runs forward. He's to the 20, the 25. He's hit and goes down at the 29-yard line. Diving for the extra yard. Ran into Henry Davis and Glenn Edwards. They will spot the ball back at the 28-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Cleveland Browns. And they hustle Chip Glass into the ball game, replacing Fair Hooker, the second tight end.
And on that play, center Bob DeMarco flattened Joe Green from behind, but no clipping call.
Cleveland 3rd and 2 at its own 28-yard line, and the gun sounds. The end of the third quarter with the score. Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13.
You know, I mentioned a few moments ago that this game and this broadcast is being heard by servicemen around the world, and if there are Cleveland Browns fans among them, as I'm sure there are, well, I have to apologize if my comments seem a little partial to the Steelers, but that's the way it is, huh, Jack Fleming? I can't change.
That's the way we're working. I just made another mistake. You said servicemen. You forgot servicewomen.
And servicewomen.
That's right.
Anyhow, it's 3rd down and 2 yards for the Browns, 2 yards to go at their own 28. Big play coming up for the Steeler defense.
3rd down, short 2 at the Cleveland 28. The running backs are tight. Set close. Phipps with 2 tight ends. Fake. Goes back to pass. Lobs one to Kelly at the 40. Over the 45, the 50. Down to the Pittsburgh 45. Onto the 40 and down to the Steelers 36. And the Browns come up with a big play. Wagner and Edwards make the stop. And the Browns come up with a big play.
Yes, that was Mike Tipp's first completion of the second half, and it was a cutie of a play. Flipping Kelly out of the backfield. They're faking to him, actually. I believe he was the man who Phipps faked to on the run and then threw to him. So the Browns are in business at the Steelers' 36-yard line. First down.
First down 10 now. The Steelers 36. Hand off to Kelly. Flag on the play. Running to the right. Cuts back to the left. The 35 goes inside the 30 to the 27. Flag down. The illegal motion against Cleveland. Tom Keating and Andy Russell made the stop. Pittsburgh with Greenwood, Green, Keating, and White up front. Ham Davis and Russell the linebackers. Rouser and Blunt on the corners. Wagner and Edwards are the safeties. And the Steelers will take the 5-yard mark off against the Cleveland Browns, moving the ball back to the 41.5-yard line. Cleveland has been penalized 16 yards, Pittsburgh 15 yards. Only one major penalty called against the Browns, and that turned out to be half the distance. It totaled 6 yards. At the Pittsburgh 41, 1st and 15 for the Cleveland Browns. They've got all their receivers spread wide with a single setback, and the handoff goes to him, and that is Brown hitting through the middle across the 40 to the 39. Ken Brown, a single setback, comes across to the 39-yard line. Henry Davis made the stop. He picks up a couple of yards. 2nd down and 13.
Good work by Henry Davis. Guard Gene Hickerson was all over Henry, but Henry did not allow that to stop him, and he made the tackle.
J.T. Thomas replaces Henry as a 5th defensive back. They put a slot man to the right. Setbacks are wide. Phipps goes back to throw. They're after him. They've got him, but he'll throw anyway. And it's intercepted off the fingertips of one of the Browns. Pulled in by J.T. Thomas inside the 40s, out over the 45 to the 46-yard line. The pass went to Leroy Kelly off his fingertips as they put a great rush on Mike Phipps. L.C. Greenwood on the rush. And the interception made by J.T. Thomas. Steelers football continues after this brief timeout.
Today, get the long life alkaline power cell from Everready.
Well, J.T. Thomas intercepted, brought it to the 44. On the first play, they hand the ball off. Preston Pearson takes it to the 46 with Joe Jones and Walt Sumner making the stop. It is 2nd and 8. Steelers at their own 46-yard line. Joe Gilliam quarterbacking. Gilliam fires out to the left, complete to Lewis over the 50. And Lewis is hit and brought down by Ben Davis, the right cornerback. He reaches for the Cleveland 49-yard line. And they're going to mark the ball at the 49.5. So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. That is the 21st pass by the Steelers. 9 of them completed. We have Cleveland 4 for 11 with 2 interceptions. And that was the first interception for J.T. Thomas.
Yes, indeed. Mike Wagner today got his 7th of the year. He's leading the league.
Flanker right split end to the left. Pearson shifts off the top of the eye to the left side. Gilliam is back. They're after him. Gilliam runs forward. He keeps it over the 50 to the 45. The Cleveland 40 comes outside and goes down to the 35-yard line. Joe Gilliam running for the first time today. Beautifully brings it down to the 35-yard line, and Ben Davis and Walt Sumner bring him down. It is a first down, and they set the ball back almost to the 36, and Joe Jones is shaken up.
And, you know, I never saw anyone frozen like Van Green, the Cleveland safety man. Gilliam was coming right up the middle. Green waiting for him right in his path, and Gilliam cut to the right, and Green was still standing there by the time the play ended. He's a rookie.
All right, we line up now with Shanklin to the right. Lewis split to the left. The setbacks are wide. Gilliam gives the ball to Franco. He's got a blocker, a flag down. He cuts back, running to the left, cutting back, and going down to the 32. And the flag was down. Sweeping left and cutting back, and they got us for holding. Walter Johnson and Jerry Shirk made the tackle. But it's going to cost us 15 yards from the 35 back to the 50. A day of adversity.
Well, I don't know, Jack. In the third period, which was thoroughly dominated by the Steelers, 3 times they penetrated Cleveland territory, but got only 3 points out of it. And now here in this fourth quarter, with 11 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the game, again, opportunity seems to be frittering away.
At the 50-yard line. First down now. 25 yards to go. Shanklin right. Lewis left. Gilliam back. Gilliam looking. The rush is on. He fires. Completes it down to the 39-yard line. Hits his target at the 39-yard line. Pass pulled in by Frank Lewis and the stop made by Bob Babbage. I was concerned Cleveland came up with the ball, but the play was whistled dead. They stole it away from Lewis after it was a dead ball. That is the 22nd pass for Gilliam, or for the Steelers. 10 of them completed. Remember, Hanratty threw one and completed it. It was hurt on that play in the first quarter and has been out of action since. They're at the Cleveland 39-yard line. It is second down, 13 yards to go. Second and 13. Gilliam back again. Gilliam looking, firing down the near side, and it's going to be intercepted. Pulled down at the 15 by Clarence Scott. Back to the 20. Scott to the 25. Breaks the tackle over the 30 and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Clarence Scott comes up with the interception as he tried to hit Ron Shanklin downfield. Franco Harris made the tackle.
Shanklin was being double covered by Scott and Walt Sumner, and really Gilliam had no business throwing the ball because Shanklin was so well covered. Throw it he did, and Cleveland makes the interception, and it's the first time for the Browns at their 34-yard line. With timeout on the field, the score is Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 13.
Both Scott and Greg Pruitt are in as a new pair of running backs for the Cleveland Browns. Tips the quarterback. Hands off to Scott running to the left. Breaks the tackle at the 30. Got away from Henry Davis and comes to the sideline. Is knocked down at the 35-yard line. And the tackle made by Joe Green. Mel Blunt over on the play. So he got it back to the line of scrimmage and actually picked up part of a yard. Second down and 9. Appeared to be stopped for a loss. Second down. 9 yards to go. The clock turns. 9:35 to play in the ball game. We trail by a point, 14-13. Put a man wide in the slot to the right side. Phipps goes back deep. They're after him. Screen pass try, and it is incomplete. Intended for Bo Scott. And right on him was Andy Russell. It's a shame he didn't hold on to it because it would have been a nice loss back to the 26-yard line. And a fine rush that time on Phipps. We have him 4 for 12 with 2 interceptions.
He's not having much of a day. Actually, he has not been sacked once in this ball game. but he's having his troubles anyhow.
Out of the huddle they come. Fifth defensive back in, J.C. Thomas, replacing Henry Davis for the Steelers. Fifth rolls right, stops, fires, intercepted at the 48-yard line. Rouser with the ball at the 45, has a blocker over the 40, coming to the 35, the 30, the 25, trips up and goes down at the 22-yard line. Johnny Rouser, finally tackled by Doug Deacon. Rouser comes up with the interception at the 48-yard line, and the Steelers have the football back again. Opportunity knock once more.
Nice work by Johnny Rouser, returning that interception 27 yards as he crossed the field laterally and put the ball at the 22-yard line of the Browns. Here go the Steelers.
Third interception for Pittsburgh this afternoon at the Browns' 22-yard line. Gilliam hands it off to Preston, running deep to the right, turns the corner at the 20, and is out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Bob Babbage and Van Green chase him out of bounds. Now for Rouser. That is interception number 4 on the season. Big, big play. The ball is down to the 17. Preston gains almost 5 yards. Second down and a long 5 to go.
Now, of course, interceptions have been the big plays for the Steelers this year. They've intercepted 3 today, but they still trail by a point.
At the 17-yard line. Second down and a long 5. Running backs Pearson and Harris. Quarterback is Joe Gilliam. Hands off inside to Preston through the middle, crossing to the left side, is over the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. Short of a first down. Garlington and Babbage make the stop. And Preston Pearson takes it inside the 15, crossing from right to left. And the ball is marked at the 13-yard line. Third down and a yard and a half to go. And here comes the tight end power formation. Larry Brown is in. Moon Mullins is in. Frenchie Fuqua is in, and Pearson is out. Mullins lines up as the tight left end. McMakin tight right. Tight flanker right side is Larry Brown. And the handoff is to Franco through the middle. I don't know. I don't think he has it. May have a yard on it. They have uncovered the football and thrown it out. Rather odd maneuver, and spotted it out away from the pile-up. Now they're bringing it back, and the official has it marked with his toe. They placed it down. It is fourth down in the yard, and this time the Steelers are going to go for the field goal. Jarrella has hit 2 this afternoon. This will be a 20-yarder into a rather stiff breeze. Bobby Walden holding. 20-yard attempt. Ball is down. Jarrella kicks it. It is good. Jarrella from 20 yards out hits the field goal with time out on the field. The score, Pittsburgh 16, Cleveland 14. The Steelers have finally taken the lead. 16-14. Pittsburgh led 7-0. Tied 7-7, went behind 14-7. And now 3 field goals have put them in the lead. Jarrella kicking off. And he kicks it down to the 4-yard line, and that's Pruitt out over the 10. The 15, running to the right, trying to get to the 20. Caught by Lawrence Taves and thrown along the 20-yard line. Lawrence Taves got to him and brought him down along the 20-yard line as he tried to get outside to the far side of the field. Cleveland starts at its own 20-yard line. First down 10, 7:51 to play. Pittsburgh leading by a slender 2-point margin and needing the big defense.
Lawrence Taves showed me some speed there, the way he dragged Pruitt down. Pruitt was trying to get outside, turn that corner, but Taves caught him.
They'll run out of the I formation. Pruitt and Scott are the running backs. The handoff goes inside to Scott. He'll get a couple of yards. To the 22-yard line, he ran head on into Dwight White. Let's pause now for station identification. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers Football Network.
Hi, I'm John Gary, and I'll be opening the door to the vault of treasured music every day, 3 to 7.
WTAE AM and FM Pittsburgh.
Jack Fleming with Myron Cope at Municipal Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. The Steelers lead the Browns 16-14. The Browns have it 2nd and 8 at their own 22. And here's Pitts going deep and firing downfield. The pass is incomplete at the 36-yard line. In and out of the hands of Frank Pitts, who made a comebacking dive. A Cleveland player, Pitts, is getting up slowly. They got to Pitts that time, and apparently it was...
I believe it was L.C. Greenwood. He belted him amidship just as he let the ball loose, and he took a blow that time, but he's hanging in there.
Keep in mind the Steelers lost Terry Hanratty on his first pass, which was a long completion. Hurt his wrist, and Joe Gilliam is quarterback all this game. J.T. Thomas replaces Henry Davis as the 5th defensive back on 3rd and 8. Cleveland at its own 22. Pitts is going back. Pitts looking. Pitts firing downfield. Open man off his fingertips at the Steelers 45 incomplete. Frank Pitts out beyond the Steelers secondary. And it went off his fingertips, and that evens up the afternoon because we lost one in the first half the same way.
That's right. In the first period, Frank Lewis dropped one, and I'll tell you, Mr. Pitts was 3 yards beyond Johnny Rouser, and if he holds that ball, school is out. But he didn't. Tripped incidentally once again under a rush from L.C. Greenwood, who belted him just as he got rid of the ball. But he threw it well.
Cockcroft in punt formation. Standing back at his own 6. We have Glenn Edwards down deep. The up man, Dennis Meyer. And the punt by Cockcroft. An end-over-end job. We've seen a lot of that today. Bouncing at the 45, taking a Pittsburgh bounce, and down by Cleveland at the 45. So that time with the ball hitting at the 44 and bouncing back. Steelers have the ball at their own 45.5-yard line, and Steelers football continues after this brief timeout.
All right, with 6 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the ball game, the Steelers leading the Cleveland Browns 16-14. They have the football following that short Cleveland punt. The Steelers will put it into business at their own 45, call it the 46-yard line. And brother, that pass a few moments ago to Frank Pitts, 3 yards beyond Steelers quarterback Johnny Rouser. It had touchdown written all over it, but Pitts couldn't hang on. So the Steelers got a break there, and they go into action now, and here's Jack Fleming.
At the 45-yard line. This time they split John McMakin right, the tight end. They put a man in the wide slot to the left. That's Frank Lewis. And the handoff is to Franco, coming off the right side, drives over the 50 and down to the Browns' 49-yard line. Charlie Hall and Jerry Shirk brought him down as they spread the Cleveland defense, went into a passing formation and ran Franco off the right side. He picks up 5 yards. 2nd down and 5 to go. Ball control necessary at this point. 6:35 to play in the game, and the Steelers leading by a slender 2 points, 16-14. Frank Lewis goes left as a split end. Ron Shanklin flanks right. We're in the I formation. Preston Pearson at the top of the I, shifting left now. And Franco shifts 2 steps to the right. Quarterback is Joe Gilliam. Hands off to Franco. Finds the hole over the left side down to the 45 and onto the 41-yard line. Franco Harris has the first down. Walt Sumner and Jerry Shirk on the tackle. Shirk has played some kind of a ball game. Franco getting a nice hole and running like the Franco Harris we know and love. Is that what Myron always says? The ball is at the 41.5-yard line. 1st and 10. Clock turning. 5:44 to go. Pittsburgh leading by 2. Steelers have the ball at the 41.5-yard line. Shanklin right. Lewis to the left. Gilliam to Harris. And Harris tripped up, slipping into the left side of the line. Will get about a yard. Just short of the 40. Again, it's Shirk, along with John Garlington on the tackle. Next Sunday, no activity for the Steelers. A week from Monday night at the Orange Bowl in Miami, they play the Miami Dolphins. The first time that we have seen the Dolphins since they knocked us out of the playoffs last year. The ball is at the 41, 2nd down, 9. 5:05 to go in the ball game. Pittsburgh leading 16-14 over the Browns. Gilliam, the quarterback. Gilliam sets his ball club. Hands off left side to Preston. The hole is there, but it closes quickly. And John Garlington stepped in and nailed Preston as he crossed the 40 at the 39-yard line. They mark it at the 38.5. Nice hole. But the linebacker on the right side stepped in and filled it very quickly, and down went Pearson. It is 3rd and 7. And now we need a big play to keep possession. 4:32, the clock turns. Lewis to the left, Shanklin to the right. Split the tight end about 3 yards, McMakin. And Gilliam is back. Gilliam is hit. Gilliam stands his ground, loses the football. It's loose down on the turf. Dive for it. Cleveland has the football as they knock the ball away from Joe Gilliam. And the Browns recover at their own 39-yard line. Garlington recovers the football as it is knocked away from Joe Gilliam. So the turnover gives the ball back to the Browns. Now they have new life. 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Browns come out of the huddle. They're in the I formation. Shifting out of the I. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. Hands off to Bo Scott, running to the right. And he is nailed right along the line of scrimmage. Cornered by Joe Green and Jack Ham. And down he goes. Bo Scott trying to get outside to the right. Couldn't make it. Brought down along the 39-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 10. Here comes J.T. Thomas on. 5th defensive back. He'll replace Henry Davis. So Davis hustles off the field. And the Browns come out of the huddle. There's a gap in the middle of the Steeler forward wall. Single setback. Draw handoff. Bo Scott comes through, but he only gets a yard. Joe Green plugged it, nailed him, and right down underneath of it was Tom Keating. Green high and Keating low, and Dwight White smacks Keating on the back and says, good play. They left the gap. Cleveland went for it. The single setback trying to hit the middle through the gap, and he was nailed at the 40. He gets about a yard and a half. It's 3rd down. 8.5 yards to go. The Browns at their own 40. 3 minutes to play in the ball game. Pittsburgh leading by only 2. Mike Phipps is going back to pass. Phipps cocks his arm. They're after him. They got him. He gets away. He's running with the football. They miss him again. Now he's throwing downfield. There's an open man at the Pittsburgh 35. The pass is pulled in. Running with the football is Greg Pruitt. He's to the 25. Still running down to the 20. Inside to the 19-yard line. Finally, Glenn Edwards brings him down. And the Browns have moved the football to the Pittsburgh 19-yard line on a great play by Mike Phipps. Mike Phipps was chased all over that backfield. All over it. And he finally found the open man downfield. We have timeout on the field to score. Pittsburgh 16, Cleveland 14. That was the 2-minute warning timeout. The Browns are at the Steeler 19. They're within field goal range for Cockcroft. They have the football 1st and 10. And in a ball game that has seesawed up and down this turf this afternoon, the Browns find themselves with the football and with momentum and with great field position. Phipps steps in. Mike Phipps gives the ball to Leroy Kelly off the right side. He's plowing for yardage. He finds very little running room, and he is nailed along the 19. Leroy Kelly ran into opposition. Joe Green. Mike Wagner up in the secondary. And the ball is spotted at the 19-yard line. Kelly out, and Pruitt is back in again. Clock turning with 1:36. Steelers leading by just 2 points. The ball at the Pittsburgh 19-yard line. And Cleveland letting time run. Here they come out of the huddle, sending Frank Pitts to the right, bringing Frank Lewis to the left. Lining up in the I formation. Scott and Pruitt are the running back. Pruitt shifts right. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, takes, hands off to Pruitt, running to the left. Speed, 20, 15, 10, 5, and down to the goal line. He's in there for a touchdown. He goes in for a Cleveland touchdown. Greg Pruitt sweeping to the left, outrunning the Pittsburgh secondary, and crossing at the flag for a touchdown. So Pruitt scores his second touchdown of the afternoon. The earlier one on a pass reception. A 19-yard run by Pruitt. Cleveland moves ahead 20-16 with a minute and 1 second to go in the ball game. Cockcroft will try for the point. Ball is down. Cockcroft kicks it. It is good. The Cleveland Browns take a 21-16 lead. Indication there was a flag on the play. Offside Pittsburgh, so it means nothing. The extra point stands. And the Cleveland crowd is chanting defense. And the Browns have come back on a great play by Mike Phipps. As the Steelers got at least a half dozen shots at him, scrambling behind the line of scrimmage. And he finally found his target downfield. Moved him into scoring range. And Phipps on the sweep to the left side. Crossed up the Steeler defense. And with that fine speed, Pruitt went in right over the flag in the near corner. And now Cockcroft will kick off. Davis is deep along with Preston Pearson. Cockcroft kicks it away. High. Down to Pearson. Yard deep in the end zone. Here comes Preston, the 5, the 10, the 15. And he is caught at the 19-yard line. Preston Pearson at the 19, 57 seconds to go. And the tackle made by Hugh McKenna. At the 19, 81 yards away from the goal line. 57 seconds on the clock. And the Steelers need a miracle to pull out a big game. Joe Gilliam backs up. Has time, looks, fires downfield, leaping catch, Shanklin at the 40, gives ground, stays on his feet, still running over the 45 and out of bounds near the 50-yard line. Ronnie Shanklin hit by Joe Gilliam. Gilliam firing under the rush, the sidearm delivery. And the clock is stopped as Shanklin breaks the tackle and goes all the way to the Cleveland 47. Well, what do you think about this now? That is the 14th first down of the afternoon. Steelers are 11 for 24 passing. Another big play. First down 10. At the 47-yard line in Cleveland territory. Gilliam is back again. Gilliam stands his ground and throws. And a pass is shot by Frank Lewis. He goes down at the 28-yard line. Ben Davis breaks the tackle and the Steelers call time. 37 seconds remaining. Ben Davis on the tackle. Another first down. As the pass goes to Lewis. So time is called. The ball is spotted at the 28, and now the Steelers. The throwing arm of Gilliam in 2 plays have moved from their own 19 to the Browns' 28. 37 seconds remaining. And Gilliam has had a consultation with the Pittsburgh coaching staff. And what a ball game this has been. Some sort of a blockbuster. Cincinnati leading St. Louis 35-17 in the fourth quarter, and the Bengals are within reach of a big victory. Philadelphia leading New York 20-9 in the fourth quarter. Minnesota clings to a 10-3 lead over Chicago in the third period. And Buffalo leads Baltimore 10-7 in the third. New England, 24-0 over Houston in the third. The ball is at the Cleveland 28-yard line. The Steelers trail 21-16. They need the touchdown. The field goal is of no consequence now. Lewis to the left and Shanklin to the right. Gilliam takes. He backpedals. Gilliam looks, fires, leaping catch down at the 15-yard line. Clarence Scott makes the tackle on Shanklin at the Cleveland 15, and the clock shows 29 seconds. Another pass completed. 3 in a row they have hit. So this one goes to Shanklin to the 15. And the Steelers are 15 yards away from the goal line with 29 seconds left on the clock. They've now completed 13 out of 26 passes. And this crowd is buzzing. 29 seconds remaining. The Steelers with one more timeout remaining. One more timeout. Gilliam has had another consultation with Chuck Noll and his staff, and he's back out on the field. And the youngster has just done some kind of a job this afternoon. Coming on for Terry Hanratty, who was hurt very early in the ball game. Looming very large is the field goal that the Steelers did not kick when they went for it on 4th down deep in Cleveland territory back earlier in this half. That's not going to stop them as they line up. And Gilliam backs up and looks. Gilliam out of the pocket, firing downfield. A diving try, incomplete. Down and across in front of the goalpost came Frank Lewis. He was away from Walt Sumner. The pass was a little bit wide as Gilliam drifted out of the pocket, stood his ground and set up. And now Frenchie Fuqua replaces Preston Pearson, and Fuqua brings the play from the sideline. The clock stops on the incomplete pass, 24 seconds remaining. It is 2nd down and 10 at the 15. Steelers have thrown 27 passes this afternoon, fulfilling their promise to go to the air against the Browns. This time they split McMakin to the left. Put Lewis in the slot on the right side. Gilliam is back. Gilliam looking, firing to the near side, and it's intended way down in the corner of the end zone for Franco Harris, and it is overthrown. Sumner was covering. Pass carried out of bounds. And the ball is back to the 15-yard line. The 28th pass thrown with 13 completed, 17 seconds remaining. Time running short in the ball game. We're trailing by 5 points, and the field goal is of no consequence. Preston Pearson comes back in, brings the play. Gilliam drops back. Gilliam looks, lobs it toward the end zone, and it comes in short. I'm not certain who he was trying to hit. It was beyond Shanklin. He came in short of the defender down in the end zone. The pass was incomplete. And back comes Fuqua again. 4th down. 13 seconds. So this could be the last shot. Unless they pick up 10 yards and get time called before it runs out. They have one more timeout remaining. Jim Clack goes over the ball. McMakin wide to the left. Lewis will line up in the slot to the left side. Shanklin wide right. Gilliam backs up. Gilliam under pressure. Lobs it out to the right side. Overthrows. Fuqua trying to get to the ball. Incomplete. Charlie Hall covering on the play. The pass is incomplete. And the Cleveland Browns, with 7 seconds remaining, take over the football at their own 15-yard line. And a gallant effort by the Steelers. 3 big pass completions, moving the ball quickly down to the Cleveland 15. And then 4 attempts at that point, unsuccessful. And the Browns, with a 5-point lead, 7 seconds on the clock, have the football, and all they have to do is hold on to it to let the 7 seconds kick off. And they come out of the huddle. Phipps will bring them up to the line of scrimmage. Steelers at the moment have 10 men on the field. Green is headed to the dressing room. We got 10 men for the last play. And Phipps leans forward with the football to let the clock run out. Ball game is over. Here at the Cleveland Stadium, the fans are running out on the field. And what a ball game it has been. The final score, the Cleveland Browns 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers 16. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves running into problems where problems have prevailed over the years at the Cleveland Stadium. And this afternoon, they fought adversity. They came back with the big plays, but they could not reach because the Cleveland Browns stalled down on offense throughout the entire second half, coming up with the football late in the ball game on a third down play. Saw Mike Phipps scrambling, breaking tackle after tackle, and finally hitting a target downfield to move the ball into scoring position. From where Greg Pruitt, who is now being carried bodily off the field by the fans, they have captured him. They're carrying him over to the Cleveland dressing room. Pruitt is being carried away, where Pruitt took it over to give them the margin of victory at 21-16. Pittsburgh was not dead. Starting at the 19, the Steelers advanced on 3 pass plays to the Cleveland 15. But Joe Gilliam could not connect on 4 passing attempts, and Cleveland took over the football to preserve the victory. A great ball game this afternoon, but they'll be talking for some time to come about the Steelers' strategy that saw Pittsburgh, with 4th and less than a yard to go in close field goal range, pass up the field goal try and go for the yardage, miss, and that 3 points loomed throughout the remainder of the ball game. It loomed for a while when Pittsburgh trailed by 2. It loomed after the Steelers had gone ahead. We trailed by 1, I should say, at 14-13. It loomed again when we trailed, or led by 2, at 16-14. And then when we went down 21-16, as opposed to 21-19, there it was again. Because with the 2-point deficit at the end of the ball game from the 15-yard line, close range for Roy Girella could have given Pittsburgh a 22-21 victory. So that will be the play that will be talked about most during the days to come before the Miami game, which is a week from Monday. Next Sunday, the Steelers are not in action. They will play a Monday night game a week from Monday against the Miami Dolphins in the Orange Bowl. And we'll be there with our microphones for coverage of that game. The Steelers, with this loss, see their record go to 8-3. The Browns close in tight. Their record is now 7-3-1. So it is a horse race in the Central Division of the AFC. And the season series is split. Cleveland won, or rather Pittsburgh won 33-6 at Pittsburgh. The Browns win at 21-16 this afternoon in a great ball game. Here in our booth at the Lakefront Stadium, J.D. Fogarty spotting the Cleveland Browns, Lou Kreck covering the Pittsburgh Steelers, our engineer Jeff Howe, our producer Tom Leslie, and the final score, the Browns 21, the Steelers 16. Now this is Jack Fleming inviting you to stay tuned for Pro Football Report with Ron Reininger after this pause on the Steelers Football Network.